interest, whether carried through pipelines or in liquefied form on ships. Some companies are now harvesting gas trapped in coal beds in areas where it's abundant, such as the country of Australia. Well, one of those companies is Bow Energy. Its stock has more than doubled in the past year and up almost 500% over the past 5 years. And what's more, analysts are predicting more upside for the stock, a possible doubling for 2010. Some pretty unbelievable numbers. Well, let's talk to the company's CEO now. John Stefani joins us from Sydney today. And John, as you heard, some huge gains for your stock, and analysts seem still upbeat. Let me just ask you, what exactly are the catalysts here for your stock price to double this year in order to justify those forecasts?
Yeah, thanks, Susan. Bow Energy has had a foundation year in 2009, backed off from our reserves in gas in Queensland. So we started off with zero reserves at the start of 2009 and have substantially increased a reserve base to provide us with a significant base in Queensland. So we're not a producer, that's where we aim to get. Currently we're looking at further expansions and further upgrades in our tenements, and we expect that to produce further growth in our stock, along with early commercialisation of our stock through what we did was a successful capital raising back at the end of 2009 to enable us to construct and own a power station near our block. So it's a combination of factors, and we expect that growth to continue as you stated.
Yeah, you're talking about growth. Let me just ask you about fundraising. You have raised over $95 million through several share placements last year. Do you need any more money at this point, or are you pretty good?
Oh, look, we're pretty good. We've got cash to fund, as I said, a power station, a 30-megawatt power station in Queensland. Plus, on top of that, further exploration and producing wells in our acreage. So, no, we're well set and well established to convert our company from an exploration company to a producer at quick speed.
And what about these negotiations and these sales contracts? Because right now you're negotiating sales contracts with several parties targeting these gas sales, maybe equivalent to billions of dollars. I think 5.2 billion barrels of oil should be sold in the process. What's the progress so far?
Well, look, we've got a great opportunity to get our gas both in the domestic market in Queensland, but also with the proposed LNG facilities in Gladstone, where a lot of the majors, the likes of BG, Shell, Santos in there as well. We expect to actually participate in getting our gas to Gladstone, and that time frame is really getting our gas in there by 2013, 2014. So we're in progress with discussions, and they'll continue.
Okay, John, we're going to continue this discussion after this break. Stay with us. We're talking to Bow Energy's CEO John Stefani joining us. This stock is up 500% over the past 5 years and expected to double this year. Also, when we come back, we'll take a look at Dell earnings continuing to slip as consumers go for those cheaper. Welcome back to the Bloomberg Edge. We're talking to an outperformer today. Bow Energy stock has gained 500% over the past 5 years, and analysts expect it to double again this year in 2010. We're talking to its CEO today. We have John Stefani rejoining us from our Sydney bureau. Okay, John, before we went to break, we're talking about these sales contracts that you're trying to negotiate at this point. But a key question here, who's buying your oil?
Well, yeah, it's coal seam gas, so our product is aimed at getting it into both the, as I said, domestic markets in Queensland. We see tremendous growth in just getting our gas in use of not just power generation, but processing plants. But the real upside for us is getting our gas into Gladstone for the proposed LNG projects. And so it'll be a combination of the two to actually create a sustainable business for the longer term.
Yeah, back in August when we spoke, John, I asked you if Bow has been approached for a takeover. You said not yet. Let me just ask you, since then, have you had any interest from potential investors considering the strength of your stock and the reserves that your company continues to build up?
Yeah, look, there's been a lot of interest in the coal seam gas sector in Australia, and I think that we'll expect that to continue. No, we haven't been approached. Look, if we do, we'll assess that as part of the board discussions. Our focus is really developing our own business here. We want to be independent. We want to get our gas through offtake arrangements and create a business that's creating cash flow and returns for our shareholders.
So is Bow up for sale? Let me ask you that.
Oh, absolutely not. We're focused on creating a business. We have tremendous resource that we've got located to key markets, both domestically and for the export. We've got the cash to continue with activities that we want to pursue, and there's really upside in continuing with that business model.
Okay, how about closer ties and a possible merger then with another energy company? For instance, a lot of people throw in the name of Arrow Energy, which is also based in Australia, and Bow Energy has a lot of links to this gas producer. In fact, I believe Arrow is Bow's fourth largest shareholder at this point. So wouldn't it really make sense for both companies to maybe explore a merger?
Well, there's history there with Arrow. Following Bow actually was listed off Arrow's conventional assets, and that really has severed the tie in terms of any other connection. Look, again, our focus is on developing our own business, where we've got enough resource to create a $1 billion company here, and we continue to reach our targets and deliver that gas for that purpose. So that's our intent.
Yeah, John, let's talk about targets then. When do you expect to be profitable at this point and maybe free cash flow positive in the future?
Yeah, we're still at a phase of exploration, so we've continued that through 2009 and we'll continue that through 2010. As part of the raising that I mentioned on the power generation, we're expecting that to start commissioning in the early part of 2011. So our first cash flow will be through the early parts of that year. And continuing on, we'll have significant contracts for offtake to deliver gas around 2013-14, and that's where the real cash flow will start happening for us.
John, one more question for you. You do take part in the coal seam gas energy business. What about what happened in Copenhagen? Some would say there hasn't been a binding agreement to cut greenhouse gas emissions. Do you see that happening sometime in the near future?
Oh, look, I think gas is definitely the transition fuel. It's carbon light. It's definitely the resource is there in key markets, and Australia is well positioned for that. So I think it's going to be a combination of economics in terms of what gas we can produce in Australia, and I think that's shown by the significant projects that are happening in Queensland. And on the supply side, on demand side, you know, that's starting to happen through Asia. So I see big potential for gas very quickly.
Okay, John, have a good weekend. Thanks for stopping by. That's John Stefani, CEO of Bow Energy. And here's a programming note for you. Reminder to join us on The Edge.